Good morning, everyone. You'd be surprised to learn that it's already 9:30. Not as early as previously. Well, I've decided to sleep in a little bit. And today I'm actually without my backpack. So I hope I'll be able to do everything much faster.
And here is to the hope I don't get lost yet again.
The history of the city of Évora counts several millennia, which is, I can't say unusual for the cities in Portugal. It's just there's not many of them left. Évora, unlike other cities, was very lucky to preserve whatever is left from the antique Visigoth and Moorish times. In this aspect, they are remarkable. The citizens and the city itself. Speaking about history, nobody knows why Évora is called Évora. One of the most popular speculations on this topic suggests that Évora is actually a Celtic word. There was a Celtic settlement here, and as any settlement, it had its name. And there used to be, as far as the legend says, lots of yew trees. So Évorae and Euboric, or Euboria, actually meant lots of yew trees, or a settlement covered with yew trees. That's what legend says. So you can say that Évora is the local city of York. Another legend says that Évora, it is either ivory or oro, in Latin gold. However, not many scientists will agree with you. In 56 before Christ, the settlement was seized by Romans. It is even mentioned in Julius Caesar's annals, as far as I remember. And that's the time when the settlement turns into a town. Lots of temples are built at the time. And if today I can find this particular place I'm going to show you, it is called Diana's temple in the name of the goddess, but actually it was built in the name of Emperor Octavian Augustus. Yeah, because during his life and after his death there was quite a cult of the emperor. Yeah. Each time has its rock stars and fans.
But for now there will be more ruins, gardens and history.
It was all nice and dandy before Visigoths came, because actually it's the time of this town, the then town, of its descent.
If you are wondering where I'm luring you into, you're gonna see just in a few secs. Let me climb those stairs first, and down and up. Well,
did you freaking see that? Oh gosh! Those are ruins, actually. Those are the ruins from the times of Islamic invasion, because you can see the characteristic mudekhar rings. Whoa, 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 whoa. So cool. Lots of gardens and tourist attractions around, and there is even a palace, Don Manuel's palace. Yeah.
And now my most favorite thing has come. Food time, food time, food time.
So now I'm gonna have some traditional breakfast at the local cafeteria. They actually serve what I was looking for. They serve PÁO DE RALA. Yeah, I'm gonna taste it. It's a pudding of sorts made of almond and pumpkin. And here are almonds.
So if you want to go to the cafeteria, it's called Pasteleria Conventual PÁO DE RALA, and PÁO DE RALA here is really amazing, especially with coffee.
Actually, I saw many children here going to excursions. So cute. Where we left it. Visigoths were moved by Moors at the time of Moors. The town finally started to flourish again until in the 11th century, 11th, 12th century, something like that. It was reconquered in Reconquista by Portugals. Well, future Portugals, but you know what I mean. And that's where the real story begins. Évora is a Portuguese city. The city always had importance for every party involved in its ownership, because it is a conjecture point. Many commercial and, let's say, touristic ways were crossing there, so even at the time of Romans it was a rich, big city. It began with the Romans and it continued through Moors to the Portugals. The influence of church was big here, and actually it was the Catholic Church, the Jesuit order to be particular, which brought about higher education. The first university in Portugal originated here in Évora, until it was relocated to Coimbra by Marquis de Pombal. If you go to Lisbon, you'll hear lots of stories about Marquis.
What is a city without a Sé cathedral in it?
There is an excursion. Okay, that's the cathedral, one of the oldest churches in Évora, one of the most beautiful, and the one located at the highest point of the city. Excursion, cool. And it's beginning to rain. Who has no umbrella today?
Either way, whatever the weather, the views are nice. Doesn't matter whether it rains or not. Seriously though, I miss my umbrella.
If you get closer, you can see the columns. Try to show you. Because I couldn't see the temple opened without all those coverings, I can't tell you whether I'm impressed or not, but from what I could See, it really should have been a magnificent building, not an acropolis. No, but magnificent nonetheless. As in every self-respecting city, Catholic city, sorry, Évora has lots of churches and many arches. That's called the Roman Arch of Dona Isabel. Why a Roman arch? And if this Roman, why is there even mentioned Dona Isabel? I don't know. But I don't care. Simply beautiful. I want to find an aqueduct. I'm gonna find it. I'm close to it.
And according to Maps.me, here it is, sorta. And that's the main square, I guess. I actually live nearby.
I can't even hear myself because there are lots of people, lots of children and lots of wind. Lots of wind. Too much. We found it.
Right. Last destination point. Here we go to you.
Behind me is the Igreja do Chofat and the well-known for you now, Castelo dos Ossos is also here. Scary. Do you like it? Second biggest after, say, Cathedral. What you should know about this church is that it was built in 15th century, replacing another one built in 12th, 13th century. What is interesting, the church is unique because it unites both Gothic and Arabic Moros style in architecture, and inside there is a mixture of both Gothic and Baroque styles.
Yada. Yes, it was completely amazing here in Évora, the food and the architecture and streets and monuments, but it's time to take my backpack and go to the bus station and move on to Castelo Branco, because although the city is less popular with tourists and smaller than Évora, it has its beauties and sighting points, so let's go and see.
Now we're here in Castelo Branco, things you wanted to learn but were afraid to ask. Unfortunately, not much is known about this city, other than the fact that the current Secretary General of the United Nations organization was born here. Yeah, I'm speaking about Antonio Guterres, established by Luso-Roman population. It just existed as a settlement before the 12th century, when the Templars were given those lands as a gift. The city basically belonged to the Templars, who built the castle, which we would try to visit. They built the castle and the city walls and later churches, and as far as I know, the convent. The cathedral, the main cathedral, say cathedral. Very nice, beautiful, clean, clear. And that's not the city center, but one of the squares. Basically, everything looks like that here. Clean, nice, small. There are not many people living here, about 30,000 for the whole city. We have more in some, small towns.
Is climbing a national kind of sport here in Portugal? I swear, I've never spent so much time going upstairs, and you can see how happy I am with that fact. but it's all for good.
Finally close to the destination point. That's in behind the trees. The view is wonderful, although I would have preferred if it was a bit faster.
What I actually liked in Castelo Branco that there are like small squares, sightseeing points where you could just go and take pictures or spend some time with your friends, boyfriends and stairs.
It is only for those with strong legs and lots of stamina. Meaning, not me. But I have to go. Promise is a promise. Now that's the church adjacent to the castle. My main question: where is my castle? So this tower is the only thing left from the castle since the 16th century, although the first big settlement and first walls and buildings in this place were constructed at the beginning of the 13th century. Look, the whole city. It's cool. See? It is actually commanders. Yeah, commander. I think it's called that tower. One of the four posts. It was a rectangular building. Several towers, 6 or 7. But you see, not much is left. This tower is more or less okay. And the next one, only the upper part is remaining still. You see? And downstairs there's nothing beneath it. Here we go. That's Castelo Branco for you guys. You can tell me whatever you want. I'll be the first to admit that I'm a scaredy cat because look down. Very, very, very scary. So that's the main tourist attractions in Castelo Branco for you. I'm sorry I couldn't show more because unfortunately it's getting dark and it is a bit unsafe here, even in Portugal. So that's it for today. I'm gonna grab something to eat, I think. Or maybe not, just go to sleep because tomorrow I have a bus at 8 o'clock in the morning.
So that's how my third day that's how my third day in Portugal ends. Yeah, snacking a bit, some unhealthy foods and stuff, but I really loved it. I loved Évora with its streets and 24/7 supermarkets and walls and churches and peacocks. Can't forget about peacocks, they were absolutely amazing, yes. But at the same time I also liked Castelo Branco with its Templars and castles, ruins, lots of pavements, and of course in Portugal I love food most of all. PãO de rala and coffee and sugar. So I guess I'll see you next time somewhere else. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Instagram, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye!